Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. And it's the most marvelous Monday on the planet because it is our first Monday of the new year. And I'm so stoked about our time together today. I can hardly stand it. I cannot wait to see you guys hopping on. It's now in this new previewer thing, or what's it called? Producer. So it's a little bit different. So I'm going to try to keep up with everybody today as you're coming in. But I'm so jazzed about today. Hey, Sarah, I see you. I'm so excited about our time together. Hey, Jana. Hey, Lisa. Ooh, come on through the door. I see you guys hopping in now. I'm so jazzed about today. We're going to have so much fun together. I hope you're carved out a full 30 minutes because I got a lot to talk about. We got a lot to talk about, right? So come on in the door. I'm going to try to scroll and keep up with you guys. Oh, my goodness. Hey, Laura. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Lisa. Happy Monday. Hey, Sheila. Oh, my goodness. Come on in. Come on in. So excited about our time together today. Come on through the door. We are fully recording and having a blast of a time already. And I'm going to get us started here with our content in just a few minutes. If you did something great, hey, Crystal, hey, Kelly. If you did something great over New Year's, other than take down all your Christmas decorations, who did that? We actually did. I'd love to hear about it and tell me something great that you did. Hey, Judy. Hey, Laura. Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Lori. Hey, Sharon. Oh, my goodness. I'm hoping I'm not missing somebody, but come on through the door. Hey, Kim. Happy 2021 to you. Don't you guys just love the spirit of a new year? I mean, it's just like the most remarkable, big, deep breath of greatness. I just honestly, as if I couldn't love Mondays more. And then the fact that it's our first Monday of the new year, it's just putting me over the top. Hey, Wilma, how are you? Okay, we got 2 minutes after 12, so we're going to jump in. But I'm so excited about our time together today because there is no better time than the first Monday of a new year to kick it off, right? There is so much hope and anticipation and excitement about everything that comes with a new year. It is honestly like just permission to dream again, permission to chart a new course. I mean, are you all feeling the same way I do? I love it because the new year is all about New Year's resolutions, and some people love them and some people hate them. It's okay. You do you, right? It's all about saying, I'm going to do something different or bigger or better or unheard of. I don't know. It's just permission, I feel like, from everybody to dream a little bit. It gives you that opportunity to say, I'm going to do something bigger and better and bolder and more exciting than I did this past year, right? Whatever it may be. It also means we are inundated. If you're a Georgia resident, we're inundated with candidacy commercials and flyers. Oh my goodness gracious. I cannot wait for this week for all the election stuff to be wrapping up. But it also means that you are probably drowning in a sea of Nutrisystem ads or Peloton or what is it, Nordic Track. I mean, oh my goodness, have you guys noticed that? There are so many ads that are happening right now, whether it's on social media or in our TV or whatever it may be, right? We are just kind of inundated with it. Why would they do that? Because they know there is no better time than the gym memberships. There's no better time than the new year for people to say, hey, I'm going to do something different. I'm going to do something different. We live out in an area where a lot of people exercise, and there were a lot of exercisers over the last couple of days. And I just thought to myself, oh, I hope you guys continue on throughout the year. I'm cheering you on. I wanted to go out on the front porch and say, you keep after it. I hope to see you tomorrow, right? So much anticipation on the new year because of what it can do. It is fresh. It is just fun. It's fabulous. It's all of these new hopes and opportunities that are wrapped up into the package of a new year. The new year is such a gift, right? It is the opportunity for us to say, I have breath in my lungs again this year. I have a spring in my step. I have hope in my spirit, and I'm ready to go conquer it all. That's what a new year is, right? And so today we're going to be talking about 3 specific things when we are talking about a new year together that I really want us leaning into. Just 3 specific things that I hope are going to help you kind of think a little bit differently stepping into this year. And I hope you're going to be really jazzed about that. Before we do, I really want to take just a moment and be a little bit reflective over 2020, because I'm going to tell you 2020 taught me so much. If you're connected with me personally on social media, I shared several things this year. I actually did a post, the same post, if you can believe it, same graphic rather, different post, 4 different times throughout the year. In January, in April, in October, and again in December. Now, why on earth would I do that? That just kind of sounds crazy, doesn't it? But I'm going to tell you, 2020 for me personally and professionally was a year that truly God showed me he could do anything. Anything. If you would have told me on January 1st, the miracles that upon miracles, and there were multiple, both personally and professionally, that continued to unfold as 2020 unfolded, as wackadoo as a year as it has been. If you would have told me on January the 1st, Brittany, these are the things you're going to be walking through and walking in and witnessing, I would have told you you were absolutely crazy. I would have told you there was no way possible. I would have told you based on my human limitations, right, that those things were unfeasible. But I'm going to tell you right now, 2020, the hallmark of 2020 for me has been that God can do anything he wants to do through you, for you, through other people, for you, for other people, through you. I'm telling you, it has just been the year of miracles. So much so that Darren and I have actually sat down and written them down because I don't want to ever forget what 2020 showed me. And you know, time is kind of a weird thing like that. You sometimes back away from time and things get fuzzy, things get a little muddy. You're forgetting some of those great details. So I'm going to tell you right now, whatever happened for you in 2020, I'm going to encourage you to capture that in some way, to hallmark that, if you will, in a way that you're not going to lose it or forget about it, in a way that you're going to remember what happened this past year. Because I promise you, if you don't capture it and write it down, you probably won't remember it. And I don't want to ever forget what 2020 showed me. I don't want to ever forget the faithfulness that God walked with us on so many things that we had to stop and write them down. So I'm going to tell you, his faithfulness in 2020, both personally and professionally for me, was just unreal, unbelievable, unreal. But I don't believe all those blessings were just for that year. I believe that we can walk in that every year if we have tuned our hearts and our minds to truly dial in and see it for what it is, right? I could have very easily walked away from 2020. We could have and said, weren't those some cool things that happened? Weren't we lucky? Weren't we in the right place at the right time? And who does that put all of that focus on? We, me. And I'm going to tell you right now, because of what happened this past year, it was not from anything that I did. It was not from anything that Darren did. It was not from us being lucky. It was not for us being in the right place at the right time. It was not for any of that. It was totally the hand of the Lord moving in some amazing ways. But I don't believe that he just wants to do that last year. I believe he wants to do that this year too. And I believe if we tune ourselves into the ways that we can do that, and it may just be some small little tweaks along the way, that we can really be receptive to those things. So I want to walk you through 3 things today that I believe when we call attention to them, we can potentially see how our alignment can be in a totally different place if we want it to be. So the first one is, if we want something new, we have to stop something old. If we want something new, we got to stop something old. Now, oftentimes we may have extra spare room in our day. I don't know about you. I don't have a whole lot of extra spare room in my day. I would imagine we are very similar in that sense. So if we're wanting to do something new, it means we have to stop something old, right? And I'm going to tell you, this past year for me in particular, I stopped something old in order to allow for something new. And one of those things that I did was I really became incredibly aware last January, actually last December, truthfully, and I began to implement it in January, incredibly aware of my idle time, right? In the evening, sometimes early in the morning, midday, if it was a weekend. I became very aware of my idle time. Now, idle time can take on so many different forms for us, but it's really, at the end of the day, becoming totally aware of your time and your decisions around that time, right? That it's really around how are we using it. I'm going to show you some numbers that are going to like blow you away. blow you away, because I would be willing to bet, if I were to say right now today, how many of you wish you had another week for 2020 to earn a little bit more money, right? How many of you wish you had another 2 weeks to potentially put a little bit extra money in your pocket? Like, I'm talking over a full week. I'm talking over a full 2 weeks. You might grab hold of that and say, I'd love to have another week under my belt in my initial zinc business. I'd love to have another 2 weeks of payday tucked in for what I'm doing. I'd love to have that. Show you what I hope you find was as astounding as it was to me. One 30-minute TV show. One, which is a sitcom. It is a cooking show. It is a fixer show on HGTV, which I'm the biggest sucker for all of those. It is the news, a 30-minute show on the news, right? One 30-minute show, go with me here, is 10,950 minutes over the year. It is 182 and a half hours of your year, and it equivalates to, you ready for this? Over 7 days of your life in a year. I don't even think equivalates the right word. You get what I'm saying. It equals one 30-minute TV show is over 7 full days of your life in a year. One. Wow. Go with me a step further. If you watch an hour-long show or you're watching 2 30-minute shows, come with me. 1 hour in a day. 1 hour. 21,900 minutes. How ironic. 365 hours in a year, right? It is over 15 days of your life. That's one show a day. 1 hour of TV a day for 365 days equals over 15 days of your life in the year that you have sat and watched that one show. Now, I know we all love a good show. I know we all love those things. I know we love to feel like we're dialed in, but I'm going to tell you, when we're making decisions about our time, if we want something new, we've got to give up something old, right? If we want something new, we got to give up something old. So I'm going to challenge you to do a little bit of a gut check here on where are we spending our time. Because if we had another over 7 days to give back to our business, how much more could we have done? If we had another 15 plus days to give back to the things that matter to us and that we say matter, what could we have done this year? Wow, right? So, and kind of a 1B. So I've got 1A, which is if we want something new, we got to give up something old. And that's just the spirit of it all, right? 1B, this one's a biggie. Align yourself with people for your future, not people in your past. Ooh. Are we aligning ourselves with people in our future, for our future, not people in our past? Are we doing a history recall, or are we looking out in front for what we want, right? You guys have heard me share this analogy before. It's huge. And it's huge for the reason that it needs to be, right? Because when the windshield is big and we're looking out front, we're seeing a bright future of what's in front of us, what's to come. When we are looking in that tiny rearview mirror, we are looking in the past. We're looking at what's behind us. So are we aligning ourselves with people that are preparing us for our future, or are we aligning ourselves with people who are in our past? And I don't mean come through and make a sweeping cut people out of your life. That's not what this is. But what I am saying is, who is pulling you towards the greater version of yourself this year, right? Who are the life speakers in your life? Who are the life givers? Who are the people that are planting the seeds of let's go do it together? Who are those people? Who are those people in your life? And I mean, take a hot minute today and write them down. Who are the people that every time you interact with them, you walk away going, man, I'll have more of what she's having. Goodness, I wish my perspective was like that. Wow, I want to think in that vein. Those are your life givers, right? Who are the people that are giving you life? Who are the people that make you feel alive? Who brings you joy? Who is filling you up with all the great things that you have to offer the world? Now, here's our gut check moment on this one. Are we ready for this? Girls, I love you enough that we can step on our toes for a little bit, right? Here's the gut check. Are you those people to the people around you? Are you life-giving? Are you joy-bringing? Are you truth speakers? Gut check, right? So I'm going to tell you, we together have got to align ourselves with the people for our future, not necessarily the people of our past. Who we were last year will never be again. Do you guys realize that? Every year, this is the gift of the new year. Every new year, you get an opportunity to reinvent yourself. Every new year, you're given permission to dream a little bit bigger than you did last year. We're given that every day, truthfully. If you wake up and you've got breath in your lungs and a spring in your step and a body that moves and a mind that thinks, I'm telling you right now, you have a new opportunity every day. But the new year in particular gives us a beautiful opportunity to say, who do I want to be this year? Who do I want to be this year? Who do I want to become this year? How do I want to blossom this year? What do I want to look like after this year? And more importantly, how do I want to show up for the people in my life? Do I want to be a future giver or a past dragger? Ooh, I want to be a future giver. I want people walking away saying, yes, I'll have more of what she's having. So we have to align ourselves, gut check. Are we those people? And who are those people in our life, right? That we need to align. Who are you giving life to? Who are you making feel alive? Who are you giving joy to? That's our gut check for the year. Who are those people in our life and how are we those people for people in our life, right? That's what we want to do. So the number one is an A and B. If you want something new, you got to let go of something old. If you want something new, we got to stop doing something old. Number two, right? Align yourself with people for your future, not people of your past. Who is pulling you towards the better version of you that you want to be? Who is that? All right. Number two, I'm going to encourage you today to set up and establish 3 non-negotiables in your life. That kind of sounds a little weird, doesn't it? 3 non-negotiables in your life. Period. End of discussion. 3 things, non-negotiables, literally actual things that you have 100% control of. Now, I'm going to share with you something that we tell our kids all the time. Because if you're like us, you live in a house with teenagers, or you have lived in a house with teenagers, and it's sometimes never their fault, right? Woo! Personal responsibility is huge. We talk about it a lot in the Vickery household. And I'm going to tell you, whether it's business, whether it's family, whether it's you personally, I don't care what it is. 100% responsibility of the things that you have 100% control of will change your life forever. 100% responsibility over the things that you have 100% control of will change your life forever. I will never be able to control another human being. I will never be able to control the decisions they make. I will never be able to have an individual meet all of my expectations. I will never be able to do those things. But every single day, I have 100% control over what I think, over what I say, over how I act, over how my attitude is, over how I show up in the world, over if I'm a life giver and a truth speaker. I have 100% control over me. So when we stop and we think about the things that we have 100% control over, those are where our 3 non-negotiables come from, right? When we're thinking about 3 things that you want to hallmark, you want to like put a stake in the ground. This year, I have control over these 3 things. Now, we could sit and make a list of 3,000 things probably, right? But I want you really narrowing in on the 3 things that you can put a stake in the ground that are non-negotiables. Now, let's talk about some examples of that. I've written down 4 really quickly that I thought I would share with you. Going to bed by 9 p.m. 3 nights a week. Now, you guys know I am an early to bed person. My favorite personal meme of my entire life says, I'm your ride or die until about 9 p.m. or so, right? I'll be your ride or die. I will hang with you until about 9 p.m. and then sister is checking out. Why do I do that? Because I have started the habit of going to bed earlier. Did I start saying, I'm going to go to bed every night at 9 o'clock? I'm going to go to bed every night at 8:30. No, I did not. I started off by saying, I'm going to choose a couple of nights a week that I believe I can get my tail in bed early. right? 3 nights a week, I'm going to go to bed early. Why would I do 3 and not every night? Because every night's not realistic. I don't go to bed every night at the same time. You don't go to bed every night at the same time. But choosing to go to bed early, as simple as that may sound, is going to unlock some very different things for you. And here's what that is for me. Getting up early and doing personal development at least 3 times a week. That's a non-negotiable. Now, again, I'm not saying I'm going to get up every day and do personal development. Nope. I'm going to get up at least 3 days a week and I'm going to spend time reading. Now, you guys know I'm a huge fan of reading. I literally had delivered, I think when I counted them, those 8 new books that I got for the new year, which is about half of what I can read in a year. And so I'm really excited about lining all these up and putting them. Now, I don't read one book at a time. I kind of jump around, but at the end of the year, I try to read somewhere between 15 and 20 books in a year. Now, let me share with you, you may hear that and go, I've never read an entire book in my entire life. Awesome. You may say, great, I can get through about 1 or 2 books in a year. Fantastic. But let me mathematically break this down for you so that you understand how these little tiny decisions add up to something big. Here it is. You ready? If you were to sit and only read 3 days a week, get up early, read 3 days a week, you would, on average, if you read for 30 minutes a day, 3 days a week, on average, you're going to read 15 books in a year. 15 books in a year. We're talking about 7 days in a week that you're going to choose to get up 3 days and spend 30 minutes on personal development. 15 books this year that you could read. Think of the goodness that that's putting into your mind. Think of the possibilities that that's planting. Think of the dream seeds that are getting planted that you then are watering 3 days a week, because it's not just about reading at one time. It's about coming back and reading other ideas that tie into this idea that help you get better every step of the way. Leaders are readers and readers are leaders. And we lead ourselves. I'm not saying by title. We wake up every day and we're a leader because we're leading ourselves through our day, right? So if you give yourself 3 days a week that because you went to bed early, you then get to wake up early, you're going to read 15 books in a year on a minimum. That's huge. You guys, huge. Okay. Here's another one. I'm going to exercise 4 days a week. Don't say every day because it's not going to happen every day. These are just ideas that I'm giving you, right? And here's the last one. Here's your 4th idea. So exercise, we've talked about going to bed early. We've talked about getting up early. We've talked about personal development, all those things. Here's the 4th one that I think might blow you away. If you decided today that you were going to set a goal, and again, these little non-negotiable things are things that you're putting a stake in the ground, that you're going to set a non-negotiable. I'm selling $100 a day through my Initials Inc. business. $100 a day. I need 4 people that are going to buy $25 every day. I need 2 people that are going to buy $50 worth of product every day. I need 1 person that's going to spend $100 today. However you slice and dice it, whatever that looks like to you, right? But if you decide that your non-negotiable is, I'm going to sell $100 a day every day in 2021 for my Initials Inc. business. Let me walk you through this math, girls. 365 days for $100 a day, that is $36,500 in sales. Not only will you be a go-getter, you're going to put almost $13,000 in your pocket. And you divide that out by the month, that's over $1,000 a month in your pocket. Straight up, cold hard cash. What would you do with over $1,000 a month added to what you're already doing now? I'm telling you, when you break it down into these little tiny pieces, I think you will be astounded at what you can create. Okay, so our number 2 is finding those 3 non-negotiable things. Every one of you is going to be a little bit different on how you come up with that, but 3 non-negotiables. 3 non-negotiables. All right, our number 3 item is our last one for today because we're wrapping it up. Oh my goodness, where does time go? Our last one for today is that you're going to find a word that's going to guide you. You guys know how I feel about the word of a year. Look over my shoulder. I've got relentless is right here. I'm trying to make sure I'm moving my hand right. Significance was a past year. Elevate was a past year. A past year. I've got several of them tucked on my wall. I've got some tucked over here. Cultivate was my word for last year, for 2020. And the definition of cultivate means to break up the ground in preparation for future growth. When I go back and look at all of those miracles, all the things that I talked about when we first started our Zoom or our live here, when I go back and look at my 2020 year, talk about breaking up the ground for future growth. It means to tend to nurture, to break up the ground for future growth. That was an anthem over my year for sure, right? My word for 2021, it's the first time I'm sharing this with anybody, you guys are getting it first, is flourish. Flourish. Now, I'm going to post about that later just so you guys can kind of hear a little bit more about it, but let me share that definition with you. The definition of flourish, it's a verb, which I love verbs. Grow or develop in a healthy or vigorous way, especially, oh, I love this part, especially as a result of a particularly favorable environment. I'm going to read it again. Grow or develop. So last year we were breaking up that growth or breaking up that ground for new growth, right? So flourish. Grow or develop in a healthy or vigorous way, especially as a result of a particularly favorable environment. And who is responsible for that favorable environment? I take 100% responsibility over the things I have 100% control of, and my environment is one of those, right? Flourish is my word for this year. And I just am going to really encourage you guys to choose an anthem over your year. Choose a hallmark. Choose a something that's going to just really be that guiding light for you this year. You guys have noticed that I said the theme for today was New Year Together, right? What we're doing is together. This is the communal aspect of what I love so much about what we do here at Initials Inc. is that we do it together. And when we are working together, we can do more and we can become more together. You guys know that's our theme for BBS. You're going to hear a whole lot more about that coming up in February. I hope and pray so many of you have registered for that event. But I'm telling you, what we do together is going to be remarkable in 2021. So much so, you're going to see a graphic that's about to pop up in the rep group that is asking you to give me a little hand emoji, give me a little wave, if you are open to an accountability partner that is going to hold you accountable for your 3 non-negotiables and potentially anything else that you're wanting that's aligning yourself to be the best version of you for 2021. So you might be wondering, how are these accountability partners going to be divided up? What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? We'll let you know. For today, when the graphic pops up, I want you in that graphic thread. Don't do it on this thread. In that graphic thread, I want you giving me the wave emoji, and we're going to know getting an accountability partner. Here's what I can guarantee you. It will not be someone who is your bestie. And I'm going to tell you why I think that's so important. I think it's so important because when we come together from different downlines and different teams and different ways of doing, and yet we have a commonality with what we are doing, you're going to find some beautiful, beautiful, beautiful relationships because we come together in a really magical way. So I believe that we can do more, we can become more, we can step into more in 2021 when we do it together. And sometimes being a little bit pushed out of our comfort zone to do it in a unique way is just what the doctor ordered, right? So I'm so grateful for our time today. I am so grateful for each and every one of you. I'm loving that you are loving this. I'm seeing all the comments and the threads over here, and I'm loving it. And I'm going to tell you right now, this year can be anything you want it to be. It can be life-giving, hope-building, dream-accomplishing, and everything in between that you're not even thinking of right now. I'm telling you, if 2020 taught me anything, it's number one, that God can do whatever he wants to do. And number two, it can look nothing like what I thought. And it can turn out to be the most amazing and beautiful story you've ever written if we will open ourselves up to that and allow that to happen. Okay? I believe in you, sweet sisters, and what we can do together. I can't wait to see those of you that are willing to be vulnerable enough to say, yes, I want an accountability partner. And then you let us get to work on pairing you up in a really cool and fun way. Take care. Happy, happy, happy New Year together.